Hey everyone, Angel Martinez here, co-creator of the Healing Tree Collective in Tempe, Arizona. And you're watching this video because you're most likely a therapist, a counselor, a social worker, or anyone who works directly with mental health. I want to share something that I am deeply passionate about with all of you. Something that we have been building over the last 3 years and what has now become a major initiative that we as an organization are setting out to build. A partnership so deeply intertwined with the work that we do here. My wife and I have led a collective of holistic practitioners for the last 3 years. We've created a space that promotes healing by offering something that I find to be so simple, but yet so profound. Something that I've experienced myself personally, and that I've witnessed countless times from the people that have participated in our classes. What we offer at the Healing Tree is a little different than what most people are used to, although these practices are ancient. What we offer can be viewed as the space between your sessions. What we do is bring people together in a safe, shared, intentional space where people can come together for rest and authentic expression. A place where people can actually practice rest, regulation, stillness in their bodies, being in their body in real time, and most importantly, in community. It's beautiful how when we can come together from so many different backgrounds, experiences, emotions, the current state of our beings, and when we do this work together, we create harmony amongst each other. I can literally see our energies harmonizing in the room, and you witness it after class when people share how they feel from when they started to when the session ends. I want to emphasize on these very important key elements of what we have created here for our community and how it impacts our mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I've had the privilege of sitting in our space and realizing we all carry something, all of us, no matter what or who we are. We all have our limitations, barriers, stories, and trauma. Barriers that most likely are not even our own, given, shaped, and forged into our psyche by our experiences, by society, and our upbringing. I feel it. Anxiety, grief, burnout, parents who are holding it all together, people silently carrying trauma and ruminating in their own heads with not very many options that are safe, affordable, and welcoming. As many of you know, mental health is taboo for most people or not normal. It is challenging for people of color to surrender to the idea of therapy. And personally, as a man, communication and emotions is not at all something that we are taught. And now, as a 34-year-old man, as a father and a husband, it makes it even more challenging to just start doing that work now. Well, I do know something. It is time. It is time that we start acknowledging that it is not our fault. It is nobody's fault, really. Not even our parents, because they did the absolute best they could with what they had. If there's anything to blame, it is the systems in place that keep us disconnected from ourselves and who we are. I know you know this. It's not just the people, the community that we serve, it is us too. It is time that we care for each other, that we educate and normalize mental health, to be all-inclusive, that we do the work together as human beings, regardless of age, gender, culture, status, background, upbringing, or any other label we may put on ourselves. I know you're carrying a lot, and I see you. Now, before I continue, I want to be very clear. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a clinician. I'm not here to claim that I'm an expert in any mental health or clinical research. None of us here are at the Healing Tree. That's your lane, and that is your sacred work. That is why I believe it is so beautiful. It's a beautiful vision to bridge our worlds together, because I believe wholeheartedly, as someone who has experienced therapy and also the holistic practices that we offer here at the Healing Tree. Our work is very much intertwined, and we're seeing more and more studies come out about the work that we offer. I personally am more of a messenger, a bridge builder, and we as an organization here at the Healing Tree, we provide the space in between. The space where the body is able to breathe, where people can choose themselves, give themselves the space to lie down, cry, rest, or just be without the fear of judgment or having to explain anything. I like to say that that is the most radical form of self-love that we can give ourselves in today's fast-paced society that forces you to feel like you cannot slow down. This is a space where strangers come together, experience a guided journey with a variety of holistic modalities that we offer, things such as breathwork, Reiki, sound healing, or forms of gentle movement like Tai Chi or yoga. We come together and we're guided by a facilitator, and somewhere in that shared experience, something shifts, not only individually within ourselves, but collectively as well. It's extremely powerful how this works, and there's a metaphysical element to all of this that is really hard to define. It's mostly a felt sense, something that you must experience on your own. But I can tell you this, that when humans gather in a safe, intentional space, and they're given permission to slow down, be vulnerable, rest, and feel, something real happens within. Not just in their mind, in their body, in their spirit, in their nervous system. And for me, that realization started with my own journey. I grew up like most of us did, in a culture where you don't really talk about emotions. You just keep going. You tough it out. And for 16 years, after my mom passed away, when I was 16 years old, that's exactly what I did. I kept going. I convinced myself that I was over it. But my body knew better. It wasn't until 16 years later in 2022 that everything that I had shoved down from that experience, the grief, the anger, the pain, all came rushing to the surface. My nervous system finally had a moment where it wasn't in survival mode. My body had time and permission to feel what I never gave myself to feel, never gave myself the opportunity to feel, all through the power of the breath. And a year later in 2023, here I am responsible for continuing to share this medicine that we all have access to. And it's not something that we sought out to do, by the way, which is a story for another time. What we have created here, it's not just the breath, it's sound, it's rest, it's nervous system regulation, it's education, it's Reiki, movement, gathering together in a shared, safe, intentional space. There is so much collective healing that takes place when we participate in these experiences together. This is the metaphysical components that I speak of, the space, the presence, the people that showed up that day, the safety to let go, the uniquely curated experience that creates that container to promote healing. And we didn't go looking for a brick and mortar wellness space. We weren't planning this out on a vision board or anything like that. It literally fell into our laps. And with it came this responsibility, this calling, if you will, to continue to share about this opportunity and to continue to create spaces where other people could experience that same kind of release, that kind of reconnection to self, without needing to have it all together, without needing to the perfect words, without needing to perform. So what is the Healing Tree Collective today? On the surface, you might see a weekly class schedule, sound healing, breath work, Reiki, yoga, meditation, movement, and currently we operate on a membership model and drop-in classes. And most importantly, we created a model that is not only sustainable for us, but also affordable for the community. Underneath all that, what we really are is a relational space, a place where people can come and slow down, feel what's actually happening inside, to give themselves an opportunity to be with themselves and check in with how they are feeling, to be witnessed, to be heard and be seen, and an opportunity for people to move what's been stuck, anything that's stagnant, any emotions that are stagnant in the body, because we know that emotions, they don't live in the mind. They live in the nervous system, they live in our fascia, they live in the tissues in our body. And through these modalities and the experiences that we create, we work with the nervous system. We work with the breath. We work with sound, energy, connection, movement, story, voice activation, and community. We see what happens when people that have been forcing themselves to hold it all together finally let themselves rest. When the sympathetic nervous system, the go mode finally melts into something softer. When their parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and they begin to feel their own humanity again. And that is where you come in. Because here's the thing, we know how powerful talk therapy is. We know how important your role in a clinical setting as a guide for those navigating their mental health, whether in relationship to themselves or in relationship to others. And we also know that talk therapy is only one part of the full circle when addressing the challenges of mental health. And you can only spend so much time with them, right? You can only offer them so much. You can help them process, reframe, understand. You can give them the tools. You can walk them through their story. But what a lot of what they are carrying is living in their body, in their nervous system, in their chest, in their jaw, in their gut, in years of bracing, holding, pushing through the wired beliefs, the programs, and the old stories that we carry from one generation to the next. You know it, and that is where this ecosystem and this partnership makes sense for us all. What we're proposing is something that feels whole, a true holistic care plan for all of us that need to know that these options exist. What we have here at the Healing Tree is a place where people can learn new tools to process and feel their emotions, to express authentically, to rest, so that they can continue to process the work that you have been guiding them on. We can become allies towards the common goal of helping people acknowledge, understand, process, and express their emotions, to normalize mental health, to create a space where we can promote healing simply by giving ourselves the opportunity to rest and express ourselves authentically in community with others. This isn't something that is instead of therapy, rather alongside it, so that you don't have to carry the responsibility alone. We're not diagnosing, we're not creating treatment plans, we're not promising cures. We are simply saying that if you've ever wished your clients had a safe, accessible, embodied place to go to between sessions, this is what we've created. Spaces where they can lie down during a sound bath and let the frequency of sound and the vibration help their body soften. Spaces where they can practice breathing through discomfort instead of running from it. Spaces where they can move gently, get out of their heads and reconnect with their body and remember that they live here. Spaces where community forms, where people can realize, oh, I'm not the only one who feels this way or going through something similar. There's a metaphysical magic that happens when a room full of humans breathe together, cry together, sit in silence together, or speak about their experiences together with no judgment. You can't always explain it, but you can always feel it. And we believe that that magic is part of mental health too. So why are we partnering with mental health professionals? Because we know how powerful and transformative these modalities are. And we want to be an extension of care. We want to be the undertow beneath the surface, the steady current of nervous system support that carries people between their appointments, between their breakthroughs, between the really hard weeks, in a relational space. We want to make it easier for your clients to access rest, easier for them to practice regulation in community, and easier for them to explore their emotions somatically with support, with you at the forefront. And what we want to do, we want to do it in a way that respects your expertise, your scope of practice, your treatment plans, and your clients' boundaries. From our side, what we know is this. When people have spaces to breathe, move, and be held, they often sleep better, they report less stress, or they report a different perspective. They feel less alone. And we believe that the work that we offer will drastically improve the outcome of your care. My hope is that as you learn about who we are and what we are offering, that you feel invited into a collaboration, a wider web of care, and an opportunity to explore a conversation and how we can join forces towards collective healing. So, if something here landed for you, if something resonated and you would be interested in a conversation for how our services can be implemented into your work, please keep learning. If you feel like you need to do more research, search us on Google, read our reviews, watch more of our videos on our YouTube channel, visit our Instagram, and get an inside look into our space. Or if you feel ready for a conversation, please schedule a call with us. If you're local, come experience a class for yourself. Come feel what happens in the room when people slow down together. Then decide if this feels like the right extension of care for the people that you serve. I want to thank you deeply for taking the time to slow down and listen to this message, and for all of the hard work that you're already doing to improve the mental and emotional well-being of our community and society.